Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Calmsden Ag. Now, we are basically carrying off where we finished off last time. If you do recall, we were just baling. We'd finished 2 of the fields and we'd come over just to fill up with some more net wrap, which we have done. Well, we've got it as full as we can. I didn't actually realise this was an issue, but when you've not finished off one of the slots, you can't actually fill it up completely. So just go around to the door, head up here in the tractor. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see down there, we've got round bale net, 2 of 2, but one of them's, I don't know, 10% full. So we're going to run out of that very quickly. Hopefully, we're going to have enough to be able to carry on and get the field finished. So we'll head on down and we will go and find out exactly how far this goes. Now, in terms of everything else, Damien's just about finished the weeding, which is good timing because he's going to need to come down and start wrapping all these bales. Dan's chipping away at the fertilising. I'm not even sure if he's going to get it all done today, but that doesn't matter too much if he doesn't. Of course, we've got another day in the month before we need to get that all done, and I just noticed on the forecast there too, we do have a little bit of rain on the way, so these things are set to challenge us, aren't they? So we'll just make do with what we can. Fingers crossed though we can get all of this wrapped up and, well, wrapped up figuratively and literally speaking before the rain does get here. So we're just going to head on down this way. We've got James still in the windrow. He is working through the last of the fields. In fact, we're just about there. There's the field we finished off last time, but if we just carry on down here, you can just catch a glimpse of them through the trees. We're going to have to jump out and get this gate opened up. But there you go, you can see he is working through there. He's gone across the field once. We're going to be able to leave this open. Just check to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the mowed area so he can get around. We might close it once we're through, but you can see there he's back on the rows. I think he's got to work his way back across the field and then we'll be on to the outside rows. So let's get ourselves in here and we will go and get lined up and started on the first of the rows. So beacons are turned off. Let's just pull our way in here. I'm going to have to be mindful not to drop any bales that are going to get in the way. I know we had issues like that last time. So there we go. Let's just get straight into it. Get this one all wrapped up and out of the baler. Now the tally so far, I think we're at 77 bales between the 2 fields we've already done, so it's going to be interesting to see how many we get off this field. What was it, 43 and 32, or that do the maths? That's 70, not quite 77, 43 and 34, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it and see exactly how far we end up. So we didn't have our automatic drop turned on. There it is, that's the bale out and underway. So see, we're getting a notification there that one of the tractors does need refueling, so we'll have to deal with that at some stage. But anyhow, no time like the present to just carry on and get these bales done. I'm guessing we're going to get maybe 55 out of this. What will they give us? About 132 total once we've finished, and I'll just bring the marker up there. 78 total done so far, which includes the one that just came out. So let's see. 132. Am I going to be on the money, or have I misestimated it by some distance? Let's find out. Well, we haven't got very far. What did I say about not dropping any bales that get in the way? And you would have seen that first bale we dropped was in the way of the windrow, although James managed to pull past that one. But that one there is well and truly in the way, and I did completely misestimate exactly where he was in the field because he started on the headlands already, so he'd made it right across there and back. So yeah, just got this one bale here to go and sort out. We'll get this out of the way, we'll go and see who needs refueling and see if we can sort that out, and then we'll carry on. At this rate though, we might find James actually starts the wrapping before Damien, so who knows. Right, let's get this moved out of the way and get this field moving again. Alright, there we go, everything back up and running. It turns out it's actually James's tractor, wherever he's got to already there, that needs refueling, but he's going to have enough to get this all done and get back to the yard, so that doesn't have to worry too much. We can ignore that. Damien's actually finished, so he should be heading back to the yard now and grabbing the wrapper and be down here soon. I'm not sure which. He should go and start in one of the fields we've already finished, which would be the main thing. But what we were actually talking about very quickly just then with James is he might actually take over here with the baling. We'll grab the windrower, head back to the farm, and he and go and get the telehandler, trailer, and everything like that. Dan does have the trailer at the moment. Hopefully he's going to have finished that with the fertilizer. Might actually stop him doing any more work until we've got everything unloaded. So always lots of moving parts. You've got to be pretty fluid and dynamic and able to adapt pretty quickly when you're out here on the farm. Things just don't always go to plan. Anyhow, let's get back, carrying on a bit more baling, and we'll wait until James is all finished. Well, there we go. That's going to work out pretty well because James has finished up right there in front of us at the same time that we're getting to the end of the row. So we'll go and swap over with him. Now, the vagaries of course play because I've started on this side. He'll probably go and start on the other side of the field and then try and do these rows I've already done, which is going to cause us a few hiccups in the long run, but we can take care of that. So let's just jump out here. We'll go and swap over and hit this windrow back down to the farm and get a start on some bale loading. Alright, all sorted out. James is off and hopefully he's going to go and start doing some wrapping. I'm not sure where he's starting. I should have actually checked the course and figured out which side it was. In fact, we can probably actually have a look on the course here with the windrow because it's the same course that's being used. We might just do that and double check, but it looks like he's heading down into that bottom corner that way. So, oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll make sure we go and put him in the right spot. Anyhow, let's jump in here and head on back to the yard. Things seem to be all falling into place for getting some bales loaded up, but let's go and get back and grab the telehandler. Well, if you catch a glimpse through the trees just there, you can actually see Damien is already out there and wrapping, and it looks like he's organised getting the trailer back over here too. That's parked up on the edge of the field. So there we go, we've already got some bales ready to get loaded. Now the interesting thing is whether I'll be able to keep up with him wrapping and load as fast as he goes. That'll be an interesting test. Now the bales will be going into one of the sheds over there for the dairy farm. For now, we'll see whether they need them all or not, but that is the plan in the short term. But we'll go and get everything hooked up, get the telehandler, get the bale grab, and go and make a start. Well, here we go. We've got the telehandler, we've got the grab, we're heading on over here into the field, and we're just going to make a start immediately on getting bales loaded up. Now, it was actually good. I had a little bit of practice recently on plenty with a little bit of loading with FSG, but let's just have a look here. This grabbed in. Now the good thing with this wrapper is it actually tips the bales onto their edge, so kind of actually a bit easier to stack, I hope. Let's just have a look. Get this put in here. Go. Loosen that off. Lower this down. And there we go. Right, first two picked up. Just make sure we're not going to crash into any in front of us. Just a little bit of visibility. We should probably move the trailer further into the middle of the field too, but this is just going to do. Now, actually, do you know what? Probably going to be just as quick to load them straight into the shed, isn't it? Why run them if we're going to run them to a trailer? Why double handle them? Right, well, in this field, we're just going to do this. 2x2 into the back of this shed, and then we'll be able to load up and use the trailer in the other one. So let's get into it. Let's get some bales stacked in here and get the field cleared off. Well, I suppose technically we've caught up to Damien because he hasn't quite finished yet. You will see there's one more bale over in the corner there that needs to be done, but he's been stuck in this perpetual reversing cycle for the last 5 or so minutes. I'm not sure what's going on, something with course play. I wonder if it's because that bale that's down there that's still left to be done was pushed out of the field and I moved it, whether that's messed with course play and the way it scans the field and detects how many bales they're able to do. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but he's got a little bit confused. So we will get these last couple stacked in there and then get Damien moving into the next field and start wrapping in that one. It's gone pretty well, apart from the one bale that we dropped and managed to basically bunny hop over, make it into a flying telehandler ramp. Wasn't ideal, but it is what it is. It was kind of fun doing it actually, the first part we did in first person. I did try and stack a little bit higher, as you would have seen, decided against that. That back of that shed is rough as buggery, so I didn't really want to have to deal with trying to stack high when we were driving over that sort of rough area. So anyhow, let's get on down this way. We will get these last couple of bales picked up. We'll go and get Damien through the gate into the next field, in which we'll bring the tractor down and we'll be loading those onto the trailer and bring them back up and having to sort of run back and forth getting those done. But there we go, gone pretty well. It's actually been fun, I've enjoyed it. So moved into the next field, and as you can see, Damien's well and truly wrapping. He's getting through this one, but what I'm more nervous about is how many bales I can see over the fence already, and James is only really just starting to head back across the field. So, and 3 headland passes. I think, what did I say? I thought there might have been like, I don't know, 50 or 60 bales in that, giving us 120, 130 total. I reckon we are going to eclipse that by quite some margin, which it's good. It's always good to have good yielding grass, but it does make me a little bit nervous about how long we are going to be at this for. So let's just carry on. I'm sorry, it's going to be a little bit time-lapse heavy here, but we just need to get these bales all loaded up and done. So we're going to continue, and we'll see how far we can get. Well, we're just waiting for Damien to get back. I think we've got all wrapped bales on the back of the trailer already. It's probably just about a full load we could run back up because he ran out of wrap, so he's had to go back. In fact, I can hear the Fiat coming through. So that thing pumping out the black smoke at the top there. But yeah, he's down here now, so he should be able to get started we'll carry on with the wrapping, and we'll head on up this way and go and get this first trailer load unloaded. Put up in there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's carry on. It's going to be a lot of wrapping. Here we go, first bales off of the back. I don't think, because I haven't stacked these very high, we're not going to have enough space in this shed, I think, to store them all. Just looking at how many there are over the fence, but we'll just see how far we can go. There is plenty of other shed space, obviously, on the other side, or maybe we have to use the telehandler and try and stretch up and over and see if we can get a little bit more stored. But anyhow, it is what it is. Let's carry on, so if we can get these off. Always a little bit hard. These aren't the easiest grabs to use when you're working on a trailer and things like that, but we'll make do with what we've got. Hopefully not knock any off the other side. Alright, let's just get this unloaded and carry on in the field. was always likely to jinx it when I said let's hope we don't knock any off the other side. Just part of the risk of using this type of grab. But let's get these last ones picked up. Yeah, they've all gone in there. Gone in there okay, so let's just get these grabbed. The one thing I've noticed, these the front on this telehandler doesn't actually pivot down as far as you might find on a front loader or something like that. It doesn't get all the way to horizontal, so you kind of get them grabbed a little bit awkwardly. Then you've got to come in and pick them up once more in a slightly better position. Just like that, there we go. Right, also having a few little not issues. I know which buttons do it, but the grab and extension on the arm are very close to each other. On the same stick, in fact, so sometimes find we're extending when we don't need to, and it just causes a little bit more issues. But anyhow, there we go, that's done. Right, let's get ourselves back down to the field. Damien should be, well, just got a course play finished work. I imagine that's going to be him, because I can't imagine that James has finished in baling yet. He was onto the headlands though, so not too much longer to go. So we'll go down, get the last bales picked up out of this one, and we'll be into the last field before you know it. There you go, you can see the wrapper is in the next field. They're underway in there. Baler's coming down the field and just has the last headland pass to go. Already 74 bales in there, so by the time they finish the headlands, we're going to be almost, well, probably knocking over 80 bales off that field, which is a pretty impressive number. It's a lot to get out of there and load, although not quite as daunting as when I first looked over. Kind of thus spread out, and how quickly we've been able to get whatever there was, 30ish bales out of here. Not too daunting. However, it is starting not to get dark, but the evening is getting on. It is 20 minutes to 6, so we do need to sort of make haste. We don't have too much daylight left. We can obviously do it at night, and we probably need to think about it, but the key thing would be to get all the bales wrapped, because then we don't have the issues with moisture. But if we leave them sitting out there unwrapped, there is rain forecast for a little bit later on, so we do want to make sure that they're all protected before too late. Anyhow, there we go. Right, let's carry on and get these all loaded up and into the very last field. So close to getting these last ones squeezed in here. Of course I'm going to have to try and take them off at the other end too, but I'm worried we're going to push the others off the other side. Just stop there. Nah, there we go. Tried too hard. Well. Let's just grab those off there and push these ones across. I'm sure we can, with that in there now, be able to make a little bit more room. There you go. If they just sit on the back there as a kind of single row, and maneuver these ones into a spot kind of like that. Squeeze this one across the top a little bit better. There we go. Right, well, I think that's going to do for that load. I could go higher, but because we're so close to the farmyard, I really don't see the point. But yeah, there we go. Also, if we weren't right next to this field, I wouldn't have bothered coming in and taking these bales out of here, I would have just run back with a part load and then come down to the next field to get full. But knowing that there's 70 plus bales in here and we can fit, what have we got on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 22 a load. 3 loads is 66. So if we could grab a few out of here earlier, like we just have, we might be able to get it all done in 3 loads. But I'll tell you what, I am going to call it a wrap there for this episode. Excuse the pun. I'm not bailing on you. Once again, that one was deliberate. But we will carry on and get this all done as the night progresses. And when we come back next time, the field will be clear and we'll be moving on to something else. So I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. I know it's been a bit repetitive, but that's farming. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.